Idea there is most men have not been taken through a formal rite of passage process. For all of human history, men, it was understood by society, men weren't born, they're built. They have to go through a process to become forged, like a sword goes through a process to be sharpened. So every society has has had their version. We're the new kids on the block. In America, we don't even know what that means. We never really had that. And there's different reasons for that. But, I'll give you an example. So in ancient Sparta, they had something called the crypteia. And the crypteia at the age of 7, it's a beautiful experience. It's dramatic. But at the age of 7, the older Spartan men would come to your house and take the boy out of his mother's arms, symbolically removing him from his mother and saying, he's with the men now. He would go live in a dorm in the neighborhood with other boys his age. And they would train them in ethics and rhetoric and hand-to-hand combat and wrestling and philosophy and the Spartan ways, right? And every year it just got more progressive. Now they're using real swords. And at the age of 17, 18, they have to go do something called, I gave you the wrong word. The whole process is called the agoge, but when at the age of 17, 18, they go to something called the crypteia. And for an entire year, at the age of 17, you get kicked out of the village. You have to just go survive based on all the skills you've learned from age 7 to 17. You've learned how to feed yourself. You've learned how to hunt. You've learned how to defend yourself. You learn how to build shelter. You learn how to be ruthless and deceptive, how to hide from the enemy, all that stuff. If you can survive the year, feed yourself, build your own shelter, build your own fire, come back at the end of the year, you're welcome back into the Spartan community, and then you're qualified to then go be a warrior on behalf of the Spartan country of Sparta. And you do that for 10 years, and within that range, at the end of that range, if you survive, you're now able to become a quote unquote citizen of Sparta, and you can take a wife and start a family.
Wow.
Because you've earned it.
It's almost like that pot of gold you were talking. What'd you say? If there's a dragon,
if there's gold in the cave, you're willing to take on the dragon to get the gold. The idea was they understood you're not a man just because you have testicles and chest hair. Just because you have a penis doesn't make you a man. That being a man means something, and you've been through a process. You've been forged, and you know it. It's not so everybody else knows it, so that you know it in your bones. No, I earned this shit. This is me, right? So that's a ridiculous. That was real, but I'm not doing that to that degree. But our rite of passage is the idea that we want to train you in courage. We want to train you in honor. We do that through teaching. We do that through training. I want to teach you how to be formidable. I want to teach you how to be a good man who can love his wife and go the distance and be a good father, who can be patient, who can be a lion and a lamb, right? Warrior Poet Society. I want to teach you how to operate with other men in a honorable way, and how to forge quality brotherhood and bonds that can last till the day that you die. And you're going to walk away with hard skills. And at the end of this thing, so you're doing physical disciplines throughout, you're doing trainings throughout the 8 weeks. It's virtual. Most of it's virtual. At the end of the 8 weeks, we culminate in a 24-hour nonstop training event I call the Crucible. And that involves serious mental toughness training, no sleep, minimal food, a lot of physicality, a lot of competition. You're competing against your brothers. And at the end of this thing, everybody's extremely tight. And now you're part of the brotherhood. And now you're welcome back to be a cadre or a junior instructor to help future groups go through the process themselves. And that way we have a cycle of mentorship, kind of like sponsorship, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's the quick and dirty version. Once you come in those two portals, the Rite of Passage or Primal course, you have access to the 2.0 version, which is in Puerto Rico. That's a 5-day event. I also have a Tetons backpacking intensive in Wyoming. That's a 5-day event. This year, I'm launching in June, end of June, a couples trip to Peru. We're hiking the Inca Trail, culminating in Machu Picchu, which is a world wonder. And there's a couple other things down the line, but yeah, we've got a lot pop in, and I'm really stoked to build this thing out.
So it's 8 weeks, and the virtual sessions are how many times a week?
Once a week. The virtuals are hour and a half every Monday, and then we also you're connected with a small squadron of men, and cadre who are on top of you all week. But it's designed for guys that are busy, that have jobs, that are working, that just don't have hours to waste a day. I mean, I'm a busy guy. I got 4 kids. You know, I do all the disciplines with all the guys every cycle. So I hold myself to the same standard.
Is there an age minimum?
The youngest we've had was 16. The oldest we've had was 57.
I feel like I want to do this with Weston. He's 14.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had a father-son go through it together. That was really impactful.
So is it like a daily, you have certain things you have to accomplish daily? Like
Yes.
as far as workouts and stuff like that?
So you're committing to intermittent fasting for 8 weeks, which is, you know, for me, I stop eating at 8 p.m. and I don't eat again till 12 noon the next day.
Yeah.
So it's just disciplined eating regimens.
Yeah.
You're committing to cold showers every day for the 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. You're committing to daily readings. I issue readings, and then you have to follow that reading up with 10 minutes of silence. You don't talk. You can go for a walk or sit quietly, but you have to absorb what you read. And then you chime in with your squad, the thing that popped for you in the reading. Here's what stuck out to me. So everybody's staying clued in. I have the guys implement a family meeting. So I give them parameters for that, and they do that once a week with their family. So we're really focused on building families. We also have a marriage check-in. So guys that have a significant other, I have them do a little marriage check-in with their spouse. We want to forge quality marriages. And there may be 1 or 2 other disciplines there, but they're not extremely time-consuming. It's really just the cultivation of new habits. Some of the guys come in, they already have some of these habits, but most people don't do a marriage check-in. Most people don't do a family meeting. Most people haven't intermittent fasted. Most people aren't doing cold showers. I mean, there's the oddball. If you want it, sometimes we do cold ice baths, cold baths, things like that. But the idea is we're trying to cultivate and normalize habits that last beyond the 8 weeks. You've done this for 8 weeks. You know, at this point, it's solidified. And then we repeat the cycle. Man, a lot of the guys continually come back to be cadre. They're helping the next cycle go through. That affords them the opportunity to mentor other men. We're building bonds. I mean, we're growing. And the idea for me is start regionally, Palm Beach County, Martin County, and then expand beyond that. I mean, I've got guys flying in from California, from Washington State, North Carolina, Jersey, New York, all over the place, man. Chicago, you name it. So it's a really beautiful thing, man.
Have you heard of Ben Greenfield?